Hi, my name is Nijia Robinson. I'm currently the training manager for IXP ChatComm site, and I've been with the organization now for 12 years. I started in June of 2009.
Can you tell us a little bit about your career or personal background?
Yes, before starting with IXP, I had no experience whatsoever with regards to public safety. My background was in customer service, doing call center. I was a call center manager. However, after 10 years of employment, at that point, we closed our doors. So I found myself searching for a new career and kind of sort of reinventing myself. I found out about IXP from Indeed.com. From Indeed, after I was reading the review of IXP, I saw great things, but I still kind of had doubts because, again, this is something completely different. You're dealing with both emergency as well as non-emergency situations for people in their time of need, and they're looking for you to be the beacon and get them through or walk them through whatever type of situation is prompting them to call in. But based upon my customer service background, I thought that, okay, well, maybe I would kind of correlate some of my experience into public safety. Plus, based upon, I would say, the integral component of my success, and even as my role as a 911 telecommunicator on the floor would be the training department. My communication training officers, the way they taught the material, the way they assisted me with building my additional skills that was necessary, that led to my success. In 2016, I applied for and was promoted into the role of shift supervisor with IXP, where I kind of got back to my roots with coaching and developing, and it was no more just about myself, no more just about whatever position I was working that day. But at that point, looking at the bigger picture and responsible for everybody that's in the room, through coaching and development, through morale for my shift, getting us through meeting those expectations. When the opportunity in 2018, it was actually February of 2018 that came about for the Records and Quality Assurance Manager, I applied and was promoted into that role, as well as took over the responsibilities for our quality assurance coordinator position. So I was able to start back cultivating relationships with not only our field units, but also the citizens that we service. In November of 2018, I was promoted into the position that I'm currently in now, which is training manager.
Hey, so can you explain your role and what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, on a day-to-day basis, I'm kind of responsible for developing, maintaining, and implementing the public safety training for our site, as well as the overall enhancement of our training program. Not only do I do that, but I'm also responsible for facilitating the onboarding process for new hires, from the initial interview once they pass the actual virtual testing session piece, to giving them an overview of all of our policies and procedures in an in-classroom setting, as well as getting them their required certifications. Not only just with new hires, but I'm responsible for maintaining our agency's required certifications as a whole. So when it's time for recertifications, when it's time for us to submit necessary documentation for our accreditation purposes, I'm responsible for supplying that from a training perspective. In addition to that, I also handle any type of community outreach events that we have to do with regards to scheduling them, setting them up as far as volunteers who's going to participate. We facilitate tours, we go out into the field, talking points just about who we are as an organization and what the expectations are, what the citizens may need to do when they call into 911.
So what have you learned from being in your position? Has there been anything surprising, any favorite parts?
Actually, from being in my position, I've learned that you wear multiple hats. And I say that because you have different people who have different personalities. I can go from being an educator to an advisor to someone's counselor in a span of a short time period. It just depends on the given situation. But I will say my favorite part about my position is the fact that from day one, I have the opportunity to cultivate new hires to the ChatComm way of life or the IXP way of life, so that they do know how to navigate our policies and procedures. It's almost like it's a welcoming committee, and you get the opportunity to see them grow, develop, and actually partake in their success as well.
What has kept you working here at IXP?
Being with the organization that truly does believe in its people, believe in growing and developing your own, and truly standing behind you. I can say I don't think I've ever been with the organization. You hear people talk about growth and development all the time, but for people to truly stand behind their people and not just say it, but also show it, goes a long way.
So can you explain what it's like to be in a leadership role? What advice do you have for someone who's trying to achieve a leadership position here at IXP?
I would say anybody that's in a leadership role, for me, it gives me the opportunity to have impact, not only on an individual level, but on the team level. It gives me the opportunity to truly impact or empower change. Lead by example, because you truly know that somebody's watching you. Also have those tough conversations and know that somebody's on the other end and truly has your well-being at heart when decisions are made, but also has the ability to look at the bigger picture from an organization perspective, because it's still a business and we still have standards and expectations that we have to meet. But for anybody that's coming into the role or trying to achieve a leadership position role, the first thing I would say is have a passion for the job. Don't go into the position just because you're looking to make money. Also, have the ability or willingness to listen and have effective communication with your people. And I can't say this enough, lead by example. People look for somebody that's truly living the IXP way or living the organization's way. Also, when it's all said and done, be able to motivate, bring about morale, think outside of the box, because those will lead you a long way. And last but not least, have an eagerness for knowledge, always wanting to learn something more, something different.
So what are your professional goals for the future? Have they changed since being here at IXP? Do you feel like you'll have opportunities to attain them here?
Absolutely. My professional goals have changed throughout my career with IXP. As I mentioned when I talked about my history. However, I think for me, my current professional goal is to transition into the role of deputy director. But will that change? Absolutely. As I continue to grow and develop, of course, new goals come about. But to say, will I have the opportunity with the organization? Yes, we believe in growing our own. I have been afforded the opportunity to work on different projects, have an input. So absolutely.
Do you have any advice for someone looking to work at IXP?
Yes. If you are looking to not just have a job, but actually have a career, IXP is the perfect organization for you. You'll have an organization that's going to stand by you with regards to getting you or making sure that you have all the necessary tools and resources to be successful in your career. And it's somebody that you can actually grow with.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.